A Connecticut native took home some hardware on music's biggest night. Zaccai Curtis won the Best Latin Jazz Album Grammy for his 2023 project, that is, Q-Bop Lives. And he is here with us this morning to tell us all about the big night and what lies ahead. Good morning, Zaccai.
Good morning.
So glad to have you here. This is such a huge accomplishment.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get right into it. You're at the Grammys. You're sitting there. They're calling your category. What went through your head the moment you realized you heard your name?
Didn't register at first. That was the first thing. Then the second thing was, okay, I have to find my speech. I wrote a couple sentences down. So I'm trying to find it, make sure I don't drop whatever they gave me in my, drop my phone during the speech. That was the kind of what was going through my head. It's an amazing, recognition to have, and I really appreciate, all the different musicians coming together and recognizing different artists at some point in their career. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So cool. Now, Q-Bop Lives, which the vinyl he just got today, it's out now. Tell me a little bit about what folks can expect if they haven't heard it. What are the influences?
This is an Afro-Cuban jazz record in the genre of like Q-Bop, if you were to kind of like describe the type of music. And Q-Bop is a mixture of Afro-Cuban music and bebop, is a style of jazz. So you're going to hear music like Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and then also musicians from the Cuban side, Chano Pozo, Mario Bauzá, Machito. And this music is fused in the 1940s, the early 1940s. And it's just an amazing fusion that we try to capture and modernize and present in our own way. So.
Yeah, nice. And I was checking out the artwork here earlier. It's really unique, and there are little subtle things in it. I don't know if we can get a better close-up. So you pointed out the piano that's in your shades, right?
Yep.
Right, and then your record label, you have an independent record label, which you released the album through, that you started with your siblings, right?
Yeah, my brother and a few other people came together and formed a record label. This was when I first moved to New York City, and we started releasing our own records by ourselves and kind of really doing it the right way, asking a lot of questions. We had a lot of mentorship, and we were able to build something that allowed us, allowed to have like this umbrella or a vehicle to push our music forward and get it out to people. And this is the record label that released the album.
Love that. Okay, now you're from the Hartford area, so tell me about your beginnings out here and who inspired you to get started in music?
A lot of people. I mean, the list is really long. We grew up between Hartford and Windsor, Connecticut, and there's a lot of programs at the time when we grew up, notably the Artist Collective in Hartford, the Hartford Conservatory. And so as young musicians, we would go to these schools and learn music. And that's where we were introduced to jazz and Latin jazz, music like that, cultural music, Puerto Rican music. So that was like our beginning. So thank goodness for those programs and the funding for those programs. Then later on, we had important mentors, Andy Gonzalez, which is one of them, Eddie Palmieri, Hilton Ruiz. And these are all musicians that I pay homage to on the record. I do a Hilton Ruiz composition. Eddie Palmieri, I dedicated the album to him and Donald Harrison. Donald Harrison is an amazing bebop saxophone player. He actually does many styles, but bebop is, I learned a lot from him. And of course, the great Eddie Palmieri, probably one of the most important pianists, especially in the Afro-Cuban genre of music.
Yeah. Well, you are also a professor over at the University of Hartford, and you are helping to kind of inspire and shape these future artists. How does that make you feel?
It's great to work on music like this with my students. We have an Afro-Cuban ensemble at the University of Hartford. I also work with a lot of piano students at WestConn, and we get to kind of dive in and explore music in very nuanced way. So it's an important aspect when you're developing as a musician and an artist to kind of explore everything, get the knowledge from different styles of music.
Yeah, love that. So happy for you. This is a huge accomplishment. Thank you so much for joining us. Really quickly before we head out, where can people keep up with your projects?
You can go to my website, ZaccaiCurtis.com. I'm on Instagram, all the social media platforms, and then also my website for the label, which is TRR Collective.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.